Steph Curry and the Warriors overcame a 17-point deficit to beat the Celtics in overtime. Steph led the way, 33 points, 20 of which came in the fourth quarter in OT, despite having 5 fouls the entire game. Real recognize real, folks. Here's Shaq on Steph Curry.
I'm wondering, not saying, I'm just wondering, because he's been consistently the best shooter his whole career. I'm wondering, is it time to start putting him as the best player of all time?
Best player? Over, you put him over you?
In the conversation.
I'm asking you.
Yes.
You put him over you. You yourself
Way
put
better,
Steph Curry
yes,
over you.
Yeah, this is why he's my favorite player.
I'm not saying favorite. He might be my favorite too, but I'm just asking you, think he's better than you?
I played 20 years, watched 20 years before that. I've never seen a guy like him. And he's doing it consistently, and he has championships.
You put him over Michael?
No, I'm not putting him anywhere. I'm saying,
okay,
you know, for all the chitter-chatter, is it time to just put him in the conversation?
It's like what Stephen A. needs to do. Molly, I put best dressed ahead of me. But.
It won't happen.
We'll take it to the streets. JWill, is Steph worthy of GOAT consideration?
First off, you know, it's funny when you have this conversation, I think you have to preface it by saying, if you don't say that Steph is not the GOAT, then you're not diminishing his greatness overall. To me, Steph, after winning a championship 2 years ago, Finals MVP, I think he cracked the top 10 all-time greatest, in my book. To say the GOAT conversation, there are 3 to 4 players in the GOAT conversation. If you want to put Bill Russell in that conversation, because ultimately the championships, I can respect that. He wouldn't be in mine, but I would have the likes of Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If you want to tinker with Kobe being right there, I respect that. I know Kenny was talking about that last night. But to me, in that upper echelon, I have those 3 players with Kobe kind of right on the outside looking in. To me, that is the GOAT conversation. I think it's more relevant to have a conversation around Steph Curry being top 10 greatest of all time after what he's done over the last several years. That's me. I don't think that diminishes his greatness, Stephen A. That's not a slight to Steph. Steph is one of my favorite players to watch in NBA history. I think he's one of the best point guards to ever play the time. If you want to say he's the best point guard ever to play the game over Magic, that's fine. You can say that. I still would take Magic. But when you're talking about the best player to GOAT conversation, you are complete in so many aspects of the game. And I still think Steph, him being fairly above average as a defender, when I look at players like Kobe, when I look at players like MJ, like Bron, like Cap, different level defensively.
Jay Williams, with all due respect, that soliloquy was unnecessary.
It was very necessary for me to defend my point.
You don't have to apologize. You don't have to apologize for it. You don't have to sit up there and couch and hedge everything. No, he's not the GOAT. He's not the GOAT. He's not the greatest of all time. You know, when you talk about the greatest of all time, you talk about Michael Jordan, you talk about LeBron James, you talk about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in my estimation, period.
Yeah.
Having said that, the real question is, does he warrant the consideration? The answer is yes. Not as a defender. We know we know he's suspect as a defender, but does he warrant consideration? It's very, very simple. He is the greatest shooter God has ever created. And we're not talking about somebody, and here's where I keep trying to crystallize this for people, Jay, just so you know. Of course, Magic Johnson's the greatest point guard ever, quintessential point guard. But if you're talking about impact from the point guard position, you can have that debate about Steph Curry or Magic Johnson. Because, Doggy, what I'm talking about, don't break down the abilities. I'm talking about impact. When you look at Steph Curry's ability to move without the basketball and how it has defenders' heads on a swivel, from the moment he steps past half court, think about the fright, the fear that instills in an opposing defense. This brother can pull up from 10, 20, 30, 40. We've seen him shoot from 50. And I ain't talking about some Hail Mary launch. I'm talking about pull up. This brother is ridiculous. And when I look at it from that perspective, that's when I say, of course he's not my GOAT because he's on the other side of the ball. He's average at best defensively. I take all of that into consideration. But when I think impact, somebody saying that about him doesn't make me say, that's just stupid, that's insulting. My answer would be no, but I understand where it comes from.
Oh, come on.
What? Wait, you just gave the same soliloquy I did.
Yeah, exactly.
It was quicker.
That wasn't that.
It was quicker.
You added nothing.
I can't with you.
You added nothing.
I can't with you.
First off, we got to hear Shaq now do this. Shaq is what? The 5th best center in the history of the NBA?
What?
Fifth.
What?
Shaq. What do you mean, what?
Who's the 4 ahead of Shaquille O'Neal?
Would
Have
like
you
me to name-
lost
would
your
you want me to
damn
name him
mind?
for you?
What?
You want me to
Just
name
sure.
him?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Kareem.
Okay.
Will.
No.
I'm
Oh
not giving
my
it to
God,
Will.
No, you guys are crazy.
No.
I'm not giving it to Will.
No.
You're not
I'm
going to
not.
put Wilt Chamberlain, who averaged 50 points a game and scored
Who
100
was
a game
a
in
foot
30
taller?
minutes?
Who was a
You're
foot
nuts.
taller
You're
than
nuts.
99% of the league?
Oh,
Yeah.
you're
The most
nuts.
dominant player in NBA history. Who was stopping Shaquille O'Neal
And
in
who-
any era?
And who's Tim Duncan is better than he is. Tim Duncan's better. And
Well,
I tell you something, two other guys.
That's not a center. Tim Duncan's power forward, doggy.
Elijah Wan is better. Who beat him 4
Two-time
straight games.
champion of Shaq's 4.
Shaq's
no scoring
4.
titles to Shaq's 2. What are you talking about?
And I tell you
on,
somebody
man.
else who's better. You can laugh all you want.
I love Hakeem, but he won Shaq.
Oh, he's a better player than Shaq. Oh, God, he's better.
He
He killed. First off, he played Shaq and he beat him 4 straight games.
Define me better player. Tell me what better player means to you, doggy. I'm waiting for the definition, please.
Okay, first off, who did Shaq beat in the NBA final in the pivot?
It's not about who you beat.
Well, yes, it is. He beat Jason Collins, Rick Smits, and who was Philly's center?
Dikembe
And I'll tell you right
Mutombo.
now,
Dikembe
he's not better than Moses Malone.
What?
There's no chance. Don't give me that
Oh,
what.
my Lord, why are you
No
allowed
way.
to talk basketball? Why? I love Moses Malone. Elite
You think
rebounder.
Shaq? You think Shaq?
Moses
that
Malone was not Shaq.
Not a chance.
And he was great, but he wasn't Shaq.
Help, Lord.
Malone led the league in rebounding 6
So
consecutive
what?
years.
For help
So
for him.
what?
He won 2 MVPs.
So did
He
Rodman.
averaged. Oh, you're nuts.
Shaq.
Here's a question for you. What did
my
Malone
Lord.
do with a bunch of cast-offs against Bird, Parrish, and McHale in the 81 finals? I looked it up today. 31 and a half and 17 rebounds.
Nobody is saying Moses Malone
in their
is
history.
a Hall of
36
Famer.
and 15.
Moses
Against
Malone is a
Jason
Hall of
Collins.
In
Famer.
all the NBA finals, 37 to 15.
Jay, did he play a great center in the NBA finals?
But now you're going to use it against him
Yes.
because of who
Because
he's
he was
playing
so
against.
Yes,
superior
it
to
doesn't
them.
matter who he would play
Yes,
against.
it does.
Are you kidding
Yes,
me?
it does. I'll give you another one. May I? I'm not done yet. I have another one. May I? Look at me, Stephen. Quickly. When Bird won, you guys don't give Bird enough credit. When Bird won the 84 championship and he beat the Lakers, you know the Lakers had 6 Hall of Famers on their roster, including their coach.
What the hell did he have?
Magic, Wilkes, Cooper, Worthy,
What
and
about
McAdoo.
Dennis Johnson? What
Matt
about
McAdoo.
Robert Parrish? What about McHale?
Oh, fine. Do that
What
too.
about Age?
The
What are you
argument is
talking
Magic
about?
and Bird. You didn't let me finish.
Oh, my God.
And how many Hall of Famers? when
You're not
Kobe won
allowed
his
to talk
first title?
basketball.
How many? What?
I'm putting you on punishment for talking basketball on this show for a week.
You're
not
crazy.
allowed. You're not allowed. You're
You
nuts.
are crazy.
You are
And one
nuts.
other thing.
I can't take anything he says
One
seriously
other thing.
anymore.
Malone was on the probably top 3 or 4 teams anchored it in the history of the NBA.
Malone was great.
The 82,
Malone
83
was
Sixers
great.
were an all-time classic
Moses
team.
Malone-
Shaq never played that
Okay,
kind of team.
listen.
Moses Malone was
I'm enjoying
phenomenal.
this
He was
history
not
lesson,
Shaq.
but I gotta go.
You're
We're
telling
up
me
on
Shaq-
my
You're
Lord.
telling me
Nuts.
Shaq-
Shaq
you're telling me
is
Shaq-
nuts.
You're telling me
And
Shaq's
I'm
not
done
the most
with you. I'm
dominant
turning my
player to
back.
ever play the
I'm
game.
turning
He
my
didn't
back
have
to
the
you.
centers that these other guys played up against. Kareem's playing against great centers.
Debate's
Lanier,
over. Coming up on a fresh round with the
playing against
Dolphins.
Russell. You guys are crazy. Oh, my God. I don't even have Shaq in my top 10. You may continue.
A lot of exciting things are coming up. You wouldn't know, but they are.
You are built differently.
Coming back with a vengeance. Stephen A., what was your biggest takeaway from Ja Morant's game winner last night, coming off that 25-game suspension?
Sensational. Good to see the superstar back on the NBA court. We all benefit from it. Wishing him nothing but the best. And I really, really hope, this is the thought that came to my mind, I hope Zion Williamson ultimately elevates his level of play. I know he was hurt. I know he was sick, rather, last night playing. But the bottom line is when you see the superstar that Ja Morant is, it's what we expect from Zion as well. Look at that moment and say to yourself, Zion, that should have and could have been me. And it still could because I'm that stud. Stay your behind out on that court. Get yourself in tip-top condition. Stay in that place and remind us all why you were the #1 overall pick and Ja Morant was #2. you should be right on that level on a night in, night out basis.
Dropping
I have no
bars,
doubt
Stephen A.
Morant will.